everyone. Welcome back to another Hyperight Data Talks. Today I'm here with Dmytro Basan, who is engineering manager at Klarna. Welcome, Dmytro. It's my pleasure to talk with you today.
Hi, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting.
Thank you to you too for making the time. Dmytro is also going to be one of our speakers at the upcoming Data Innovation Summit, which will take place in May in Stockholm. So we're happy to have Dmytro as a speaker and hear more of his insights. I will let Dmytro introduce himself more. So Dmytro, for today's discussion, I'd like to ask you, can you briefly introduce yourself and what do you currently do?
Of course, thank you. I have over 10 years of experience in tech and more than 5 years in management. My journey started into engineering leadership with a deep interest about how data can drive growth and innovation. Even in industries where it's not completely technical and tech-centric. Early in my career, I worked for a hospitality group and serving digital nomads, where I led development on property acquisition system. The system consolidated large data sets, ranging from market trends to real-life and real-time metrics, like customer satisfaction, location, and many more. Later in SaaS company, I led analytics team that transforming data into actionable insight, defining user experience and product strategy. Today at Klarna, as engineering manager, I work with over 100 stakeholders using data-driven frameworks to align diverse objectives and support product evolution. Additionally, as founder of Drilla, I mentor engineers to build successful career by balancing technical mastery with personal growth. My leadership approach is built on trust, empathy, and transparency, and of course, of data-driven decision-making.
Thank you for that introduction. I'd like to touch upon your upcoming presentation at the summit. Can you give us a sneak peek of what do you hope the delegates take away from your presentation and what will you be talking about?
Of course, it's a great question. At the summit, I aim to provide delegates with the practical roadmaps to transforming just data into real-world actionable insights. I want to showcase the importance of moving from quantity of data to quality, and they expect to learn different real-world success stories, how industries really diverse from hospitality to SaaS can leverage data to optimize their pipelines, operation, and drive growth. But a part of it, it's also about overcoming challenges, how strategies for integrating diverse data can break down silos and moving beyond basic analytics. But what will we do without best practices for scalable architecture? Insights into designing systems that manage extreme workloads, for example, more than 10,000 requests per second, without compromising performance, without compromising analytics, and ensure stability and growth. And last but not least, the evolving role of AI, how AI-driven autonomous agents transforming monitoring, resource allocation, self-healing capabilities, and many more.
Thank you for that answer, Dmytro. I believe that scalability is a very important topic for a lot of companies out there. I'd like to touch upon some challenges. In your experience, what are some challenges that you and your team and overall organizations face when it comes to transforming big data into actionable intelligence?
Of course. I would like to start with the most critical things that come into my head, and it's the word data types and structures. In modern enterprises, we must manage structured, semi-structured, and unstructured data. And each types require different strategies. So it's coming from the proper data modeling for structured data, advancing tools like NLP for unstructured data. We also showed organized combination of data lakes and data storages for each of type, and ensures they not just not blocking each other, but also support and accomplish data itself. So when we're talking about different data types, we need to know what are common in these differences and exactly focus on it, where we can align and accomplish much deeper structure to ensure that we can use it in different places, not only just to store data. And to comment on the just storing data, I would like to add about data silos. As data accumulates from various sources, customer interaction, operational logs, market intelligence, fragmentation becomes a major barrier. This is one of the biggest silos that I have seen in the last several years, where the standardized unifying definition and integration data across departments is crucial. And why it's so hard sometimes to break down? Because communication and collaboration between some departments could be broken. And this is a much higher issue rather than sorting down the data itself. So we need to understand how we can accomplish work of different teams in different departments together. And this includes not only tech, but think about it as including marketing, including analytics, engineering, product people, business people in one place. Because we want the data not just stored for tech in 5 years and it's all. We want that business people can use actionable insights from data for this. And based on this, we come into another very important topic. It's analytics maturity. Because the advancing from basic analytics, just like dashboards, let's imagine you have thousands of dashboards, that providing some kind of metrics, it's not given a business insights. It's just providing some statistic, but sophisticated methods like predictive or prescriptive analytics often can require some additional training, expertise, cultural challenges. Because we talking not about jumping into one big dashboard that will answer all your questions, but we're talking about how we can use data to build especially agents or another tools that can answer the questions. One of biggest problem and tricky question these days is coming with compliance and trust. With regulation like GDPR, HIPAA, protecting sensitive data while maintaining analytics value is a constant challenge. I think that everyone who working with data in big companies right now know about what I'm talking about. And ensuring proper data security and availability of records to users, what data stored, how it's used, etc. It's leading to increasing trust between customers and companies. And we need not only to focus how to make life of company better, but also ensure customer obsession and ensure that customers trust us. Handling massive and distributed data streams demand big and potentially cloud-based infra. And also it includes scalability architecture that sometimes traditional systems and, for example, monolithic architecture can't support. So we're talking about different architectural types that could combine microservice architecture and any others. The main point not about to define architecture for architecture itself, but ensures that services and systems can communicate between each other without any issues. And last, the most important, it's moving to insights. Ultimately, data must drive actions, which requires embedded insights into everyday workflows. And the most important is the strategic decision making, a challenge that often calls for cultural as well as technological change. Just imagine where you need to educate your business people who potentially may need not to use such deep insights before, but it can really open a new way of managing huge companies.
Thank you for that, Dmytro. I hope to hear more from you regarding these challenges at the summit in your session. And my next question would be the opposite. So when it comes to some best practices or strategies, so far, what best practices have you found to be most effective when it comes to building scalable data systems and systems that drive meaningful insights?
Of course. Thank you for your question. And based on my experience working in very broad cross-functional teams in different products and different industries, one of the most important, it will be robust data governance. When you establish a well-defined data model and maintain centralization between data dictionaries and ensure consistency, it provides a lot of benefits in the long run. From the first phase, it could be a very, very long process to define exactly the data model. It will include a lot of modeling session to ensure that you can have consistency and satisfy all needs of your services across your business. But this investment for the long term really making difference. And implement automated validation, continuous monitoring. It will support you with catching issues much earlier, so it will save a lot of time and money for the long run. At the same time, we coming again to the modular and scalable architecture. Really, decoupling data ingestion from transformation, making using data lakes and cloud native pipelines in your routine life, it's differently and significantly improving your processes. And of course, this separation allows you for more flexible scaling and maintenance. A part of it, we talking about collaboration. Collaboration between different departments will make a huge difference for you because regularly engage all data producing services and teams through review and clear documentation. When you foster this understanding and technical alignments between everyone, you can ensure that business needs really solving what you would like to do. Because sometimes some teams can define a structure or data models that only need for their specific use case. And sometimes it could be overkill or even worse. Different teams can have duplications. They can store different services in one place and store the same data across, for example, 10, 20, 30 services. It's not only burning money out, but it also provides duplication and possible inconsistency. So removing duplicates, simplifying data structure, it will ensure consistency and support for your long term. And of course, while we're talking about all these things, like improving collaboration, ensuring consistency, we should not forget about the technical stuff. How often do you review not technical depth for your system, but technical depth for your data structure? Like what ATL, ALT framework do you use? What stream processing tools do you use? What the versions do you use? Can you optimize it or not? So automate some routine task on the daily work. It's for sure a best strategy to maintain high data quality on the long term. At the same time, you should need to not forget about possibilities not only for the real-time processing of data, but also for the batch processing. Because think about mixer tier architecture, where some business critical insights that like fraud detection should be processed in the real time. But for example, banking reports for stakeholders could be done weekly or even monthly based on the needs. It will not only decrease load on your systems, but will also ensure that you're using your data in the best way. And again, I just want to emphasize on feedback loops, continuously refining data models, and ensuring that it's not only aligning on stakeholder feedback, but also on involving business, because sometimes business requirements can change and you need to be aligned with long-term on organizational goals.
Thank you, Dmytro, once again. You mentioned data governance at the beginning and also data quality, which are some of the topics that are very important when it comes to development and deployment of AI and working with data in general for organizations. So I'm sure that this will spark a lot of conversations between you and the other attendees at the summit. Thank you. And one more question I have to sum up this conversation today. When it comes to the future of AI, for example, the next couple of years, how do you see the role of AI evolving, specifically when it comes to enhancing the scalability and performance of data systems specifically?
Wow, I would say that it's the most hyped question these days. And I believe AI will become 100% integrated into the all data systems and services by driving several key advancements. First of all, it will be proactive monitoring and optimization. Just think about not just react to your Datadog dashboard that something failed, but it will also produce proactive management, predict bottlenecks, and adjust resources when needed. Because just imagine that there is somewhere in the internet a huge news that, for example, one big merchant goes to sales and AI agent captured it and optimized it to your system so it can handle all the traffic. It's just amazing. While it's true, we also can use advancement as a virtual architect. Just imagine AI driven architecture not on top of the services and overlooking what is already created, but it's acting inside of it, so it can understand system performance on the real-time basis and can analyze patterns, identify inefficiencies, and recommend optimization. So it will, of course, lead into smarter and more scalable system designs. A part of it, it's also self-healing systems. I don't know if it will be 2026 or 2027, but for sure, AI-driven self-healing mechanisms will detect and correct faults in real time. It will reduce downtime and ensure maintaining performance during the peak times. I'm really looking forward to it. It's one of the most engaging for me in these days. At the same time, on the self-healing, it's coming with resource management. Just imagine optimize your database query, improve sharding strategies, or redefine resource allocation in the real time, not only during peak times, but also on your low time. But even more, just think about advancing algorithms that can be improved with your code and provide real-time pull requests to your system code so you can just review and apply. And one but not least, and I would say is the most important, it's empowering engineers. AI will not replace human, and it will just drive us as force multiplier, allowing engineering teams to focus on innovation and high-order problems, solving not routine, but really critical and important tasks.
In the previous couple of years, we've seen how far AI has gone, both in engineering and other departments as well. So the future is exciting, and
it's true.
I think many will agree with us. Thank you, Dmytro, for today's discussion. For anyone who is watching this, tune into Dmytro's presentation, where he will speak about this very same topic, how to build scalable systems for actionable intelligence. I look forward to hearing more from you, Dmytro. Thank you for today's talk, and see you at the summit.
Thank you too. Looking forward to summit.